Good morning, book lovers of the internet. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Book Nerd 802, and in this video, I am going to be reviewing the seventh volume in the Fire Punch series by Tatsuki Fujimoto, the author who also designed and published Chainsaw Man. And I definitely read this one in one sitting, and I officially now only have one volume to go, the final volume in the series. I will try to finish reading this one as soon as I can. I'm curious to see as to whether the resolution to the story will be worth my time or not. In either case, this one has about 210 pages, and I rated it a 2.5 out of 5 stars, and I think it is a quite a generous rating, to be honest. It's more than enough, plenty, and I don't think I've ever seen a character with as much internal conflict as Agni, to the point where even the multiple personality disorder has multiple personality disorder. I mean, Agni is definitely the best part of the story. The series is called Fire Punch after all. But yeah, Agni does not know whether he should live or die, can't die, does not know if he is immortal or not, is unsure as to whether to save his family or watch the whole world freeze to death, does not even know if his family is indeed his family, and is uncertain as to whether reality is within his power or all that he is going through is just a fabrication. At least Agni can rest now that he no longer seems to be on fire, and another 10 years pass, which just added to the confusion I felt whilst reading this volume. Honestly, the confusion has been there since the very beginning of the series, and the quality of the story seems to have declined over the course of me reading the series because a lot of images are used, obviously, the art is used well, but the story is not explained well through the art at all. I feel as though there is so much context that is missing, and so much confusion arises. There is so much going on, and yet so little being told, which does not make for good storytelling. I am honestly quite confused by the storyline and don't understand what purpose Judah serves still. Apparently, Judah is one of the characters who looks very much like Luna, who is Agni's sister, who died all the way back in the first volume, and is the reason as to why Agni still wants to live, because she wants him to live. And Judah looks identical to Luna, apparently. The Ice Witch is not brought up again, at least in this volume she is hardly mentioned at all, although the consequences of her actions are still very much visible. And Agni is simply very loyal towards the person he thinks is his sister, Judah, I think, to the extent where incest becomes a prominent theme. Now, towards the start of the volume, we have a list of the characters, and Judah is said to be a blessed with the power of regeneration. She has lost her memory and is suffering from infantile regression. And yeah, honestly, I don't quite understand what purpose she serves, but to create more internal conflict for Agni. Um, I read this volume, as I mentioned earlier, in just one sitting, and I must admit that the story itself leaves much to be desired, and the art is nothing I've never encountered before. I mean, there isn't really anything that is too original, too shocking, or too out of this world, just the regular manga panels you would expect, I suppose. Um, Nothing too mind blowing there. Um, And I don't say this because I've read Chainsaw Man before, so I am familiar with Tatsuki Fujimoto's art style. I just did not find this to be original much or mind blowing, and at least several characters seem to still appreciate the concept of Agni, but the Agni we were originally introduced to does not exist anymore. I mean, the most interesting part of this series is that um, reality is just an illusion, I suppose, when a character can't distinguish between those to trust and those who are feeding them a story in order to play a role and be led rather than take control. Um, that is when conflict, I suppose, arises, and when you can't distinguish reality from fiction within what we know is a fictional story. That is the most mind blowing part of the story, but other than that, there isn't really anything that's too original, and I don't understand how one of my closest friends loved this series so much. I can certainly not say the same. I hope that the final volume does not disappoint because all this tension has to lead to a satisfying conclusion, or I might just sell All That I Own by Tatsuki Fujimoto and use the money to buy something better. Because, yeah, if the conclusion disappoints, I will be just selling all of these, including my Chainsaw Man collection, because I don't care for this author much anymore. I'm pretty much disappointed so far. And I will, of course, let you know in another review, hopefully very soon, once I am done with Volume 8. And I'm pretty sure that Volume 8 is the longest volume in the series so far, considering that it is the last volume in the series. We don't even have a page count anymore. I don't understand why publishers decide not to include page counts in their books. It's so annoying, genuinely. But yeah, this is definitely the longest volume in the series, and that is all I had to say, I think, with regard to Fire Punch Volume 7 by Tatsuki Fujimoto, my review of this penultimate volume. Um, Yeah, if you enjoyed my review, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Take a look at the rest of my content because why not? It's absolutely brilliant. And I'll see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Thank you all for watching, and bye, guys.